All right, we are live. So, alrighty. I am live. And I don't want to hear my stream live, but okay. Okie dokie. No viewers yet, but we are live. So, I will just give it a second or two here to see if we can get somebody to view. And then we'll go from there. But, alright. Anybody around this Saturday morning to check out the live stream, I wonder? Alright, I guess I can start thinking out loud about what I'm going to be doing here. So I will repeat this in a minute if I start seeing some viewers. I did get one quick playback, but it seems to have gone away again. So I'm guessing maybe somebody tried to connect and failed, or they accidentally connected and didn't mean to. But, so today we are going to be putting together more of the side components in the chassis. If you can see right now, I have gotten all of my potentiometers and switches, and I was kind of debating that on the video. If you watched the video I posted last night, it was just something I did Thursday night, but didn't get a chance to upload until last night on Friday. But today is Saturday, so I have basically done a couple things here. I realized my deep and jazz switches could go here, in these holes that used to be some pop, or no, those are the other jack inputs. So I'll put my jacks here. This is going to be the bright switch. These will be volume, treble, middle, bass. I'm missing, if you remember, 2 100K potentiometers I need to order. I just haven't done that because I also was going to order some other resistors. I'll probably get that done today. It should be here this week, so that'll be ready to go in. I'm going to have to redo the a lot of the stuff in there as well. So, but now I do have all of my holes set up. This one won't even be used. This is, of course, my jeweled light that will be there. So, and I've got that set aside. So, from here, I will be basically, I have mounted the FET input, not wired anything up, but I just drilled the holes and mounted it. The same, there was a power supply filter that's not been soldered or anything. I just kind of have mounted the tag board for that, or the the terminal strip for that. It looks like I have one person viewing now. Excellent. Hello. Again today, if you want to, I have the chat set up so that when you chat, it'll pop up on the screen. So if I do a little hi here in a few seconds on the live stream, it should kind of pop up there on the live stream. So. Also today, I should be able to quickly and easily show off where I'm at in the actual schematic, or the layout, I should say, or schematic. I can kind of do either if I need to. So I've got that kind of set up easily to show off. So I can actually very quickly go back to this guy and show you guys. This part is what I want. One of the things I'm going to finish today. I've got this prepped. I've drilled the holes for it, but I haven't mounted it yet. I obviously saw, if you saw the video yesterday, I drilled the holes for this and mounted it, and I connected in the transformer, but I forgot I need to connect 2 leads here. They're going to go all the way over the foot switch jack. So we'll set that up in a little bit as well. So, but again, as you can see right now, if I kind of slide this over, we have the main volume here on the, and then it'll have a bright switch next to it, next to the inputs. It's a slightly different order, as you can see, but then, we'll kind of... So one of the things that's going to be a bit annoying is you can see there's a 270K resistor between the bright switch right here and the deep switch. So I will have to figure a better way of connecting those, since they are so far apart physically on the chassis. We'll come back and I'll point that out to you on the chassis. So, alright, mouse, come on, you can do it. There we go. So we'll come back and look at the chassis now. Alright, so on the chassis, this has to have a 270K resistor that comes up and connects to this. So I'll have to get a long wire of some kind and figure out a way to try and connect those two together. I might, normally you would just connect them together and they'd be close enough, it's not a big deal, but because they'll be a long distance and wires that vibrate, it's not a good idea to do that. So I might have to put a small a connection point of some kind that I'll have to think of that will make that a little bit steadier. But if not, I might be able to also just glue the wire down. We'll see. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn my soldering iron on, get that warming up, and the first thing I'm going to do is probably readjust the view here, because we're going to look at me soldering the voltage regulator to the three-way turret thing, and I need to do that on my hands thing here. So we'll go over there. Sorry, it'll be a little blurry for a minute until I get focused in, but there we are. All right, so we'll start off by so I've got this set up so that I can, hopefully that's pretty clear. I've just got that, let me see if I can zoom in even closer. So basically, I'm going to solder that on, then this will be drilled out into the hole as well, because this plane down here is the ground. It's also connected with continuity. On these kinds of devices, this center pin happens to be, in this case, the ground, as well as this. So if I was to get my multimeter, I think is set to continuity mode right now. Yes, it is. If I get my multimeter out and we touch that center pin, we have continuity. So this is ground. I will be grounding this kind of multiple ways. I'll ground this to the chassis. That's part of the layout. We'll look at that in a second. I'll show you in the layout. But then it also connects into this center pin here, and that will also be screwed to the chassis as well. So double grounding there. But he also has a grounding wire connected off as well. So we're kind of triple grounding that to make sure that it's safe and good to go. So first order of business, though, is going to be for me to solder that in. Now turn the fan on. I apologize, but here we go. All right. I'm just do the center pin first, because that'll be the easiest one to get to. So hold on. I want to make sure I'm not blocking the camera, but I've got a glare on this screen, so I will tilt this down a little bit. Get the glare off so I can kind of peek over and see. Alright. Pulling the tip first. Oh, gosh. So one of the things you definitely want to be careful of is not overheating your components like this, or dropping them. Well, we'll find out as we build this if I just damaged my voltage regulator. Annoyingly enough, for whatever reason, I'll put a little, it just pulled right out on me on accident, because the solder, I did the one faux pas that I think I mentioned before that you should do, and that's that I put my soldering iron, I pulled it away before I pulled the solder away, and the solder stuck to this guy, and while it's still hot, it pulled it out. So now I got to reflow this, get it hot enough to reflow that. Okay. And I might need to refill that center hole again. But for now, I want to solder the other two pins in. That is why you don't want to do that. I did buy a spare of this on purpose, because this is my first time working with some of these kinds of components. So it may very well be that I've damaged it, but I'm learning as well. So. I'm kind of blocking the light too, which is making it a little hard for you guys to see, so I apologize for that. But Alright. It's going to be hot. I got to be careful here. Alright. So that finished correctly. Now I won't be needing that anymore, so we're going to zoom back out. We'll come back over here to this view. I'm going to zoom in actually, adjust my focus really quickly. Sorry, I'm dealing with a little cable management mess I've got going on, but alright. Focus. There we go. Alright. Hopefully that's in decent focus for everybody. And I will set this back now. Let's see. Alright. So, now what I'm going to do with that is the problem is it comes right here in this little corner, which will be kind of hard for you to see, but all I'm really doing is mounting it to the board. So what I'm going to do is I will show you a pic really quickly of what I'm doing. It's right here. If you look, got to get there, sorry. Right over here, this is what I'm working on. I'm going to be connecting in. All I've got right now is just this soldered to here, and I'm going to put the bolts to bolt that down, and then we'll be able to start connecting wires into it, but we'll get the bolt part done first. So, of course, there's tweezers. There. Alright. This is what fat fingers, when fat fingers become a nightmare. And I have fat fingers. There we go. Alright, so that's loosely fitted. Now we'll go back and get the other one in first and then get that more tightly fitted. Although I need block washer. There. So how's everybody doing today anyway? I've got still one viewer, I guess. Not sure who it is, but you can say hi. I think that a decent amount of these are being more seen after the fact, but I still hope that I've got this benefits people that I'm doing it live, a few people that do watch. I know I've enjoyed watching some live streams. It's starting to become pretty common and popular, but my wife was telling me I need to try and be more funnier because I'm kind of too businesslike. So I'll try and also think of jokes to say or something. But what I'm going to be doing is cursing in a minute here. So there we go. All right. So how's your day going today? Anything exciting happening with you? My one follower, one viewer. So just trying to tighten this down. And then we will be able to proceed. So I did try and do a lot of prep beforehand this time of like pre-drilling holes and making it so that it would be easy to put things in once I did get them there, etc. So, but Alright, where's my wrench that's the right size? No, that's not it. I have the wrench here as well that I've been using for this. Oh wait, it's this this guy. I don't know if this will go down. No, it won't. So we're talking about an 8mm or 5/16. Yep, that's this guy. That's why I got this guy out. All right. I think that should be pretty tight. And we're good to go. All right. So I have that now connected in. Before I connect all that, though, I probably want to finish up here, and I'll pick up this chassis and try not to kill myself turning it around. I did mount this board, but it has nothing connected yet. These are the input and the output. And the reason there's an input and an output here is if you look at this layout. Oh, I've been showing the screen the whole time. Sorry, I just noticed that. Let me come back down. Well, actually, now that I'm still here, oh, where's my mouse? I can't see it. Sorry. So I've just connected this part down now, and I will want to solder connections to these two and run some wires over to where the foot switch jacks will connect in, which are going to be clear over here. They connect to 1 and 5. So I will be getting a couple of wires, winding them together so that I can kind of cautiously run them back along this back edge all the way over till about here. I don't have this hooked in yet, so it'll just be loose there, but it'll be done. Then I can reconnect this guy after I connect my two wires that come off of here to this guy, and then I will connect the two wires from that over to where I'll run a couple wires so I'm going to be putting my, what do you call them, relays. So let me get back to where you can see what I'm doing. I apologize for blocking that for a while. But all right, so the next up is connecting this guy. So I've got it already set pretty well in, but I do need to connect this 2K 2-watt resistor into the area, which is going to, let me get this set up so I can show you quickly, and then I'll turn it back off again. Come on. This area right here, you'll see the 2K2 resistor and the capacitor. Those go then from here up and connect into this. As you can see now, I'll turn back off again. They're actually right close to each other in this layout that I'm doing. So they are. This red one here will connect basically the same point as this one here, right there. So that's going to be a very easy short jumper, but I do need to connect this guy underneath. So, and I'm kind of fighting this, because that will connect, if that's very visible with my hand in the way, it may not be. I'm going to connect this basically kind of from here to here, and then I will connect some high voltage into this as well. So I'm going to connect I'll size this up. Hopefully did that about right. We'll see. No, I didn't. All right, so that's in. Alright, so I won't solder in the jumper here, but I will take this guy, cut it to about the length I want to go between here and there, and solder that to connect to my voltage between those two. So, first order of business is going to be to snip that a little bit. Give myself the distance. Strip back a little bit of that lead. And then we will put it through. And I'm going to be battling this capacitor, but only until I get this done right through, and then I will be able to solder it in place. In fact, I'm trying to think of how I could kind of keep it out of my way for now. So we're going to go ahead and solder that really quickly. I'm going to try get a little bit more light down in there. Hopefully that's a little more visible to you guys. And then I will kind of awkwardly for me, but more visible for you, come in like this. Get that joint to heat and flow. Alright, that's done. Next I will want to get a small amount of a black lead. It's going to basically come from that end up to here and connect to this grounding wire, and then also I'm going to be grounding this to that grounding wire as well. So for neatness I'll kind of run it straight down and then over. Like that. Let's do this. My black wire. So, by the way, I'm getting pretty excited because this is starting to get a lot closer to a completed build. This is making some good progress and I'm pretty happy. I would hope within the week I might have this build complete, but we shall see. Alright, first order of business is going to be to give me a little J-hook around that. Alright, that is soldered in. Now while I'm waiting for that to cool, I can snip away the excess leads on the B plus side. There we go. So as you can see, I still have this lead loose here in the middle because I'm going to run my positive rail over to that guy from, that comes from kind of over on the board about in this area, so once the board's dropped in. But, let's see. So now what I want to do is I'm going to get a couple of leads of wire. I'm just going to do this blue and this purple, and I'm going to have just run them the length so that I think that they'll be long enough to kind of go from here. And I have to actually give it extra length because I am going to since it's going to be running DC voltage, or it's running DC voltage, so I'm not too worried about it, but I don't want it to potentially interfere with other stuff. I'm going to wind it so it'll look nice and so that it will be fairly clean. I'll show you how I wind that. I think I've done that many times before on videos, but if you're newer to this stuff, you won't know how that works exactly. So we'll show you that in a second. But I just have to get these two to be roughly the same length. And then, alright, so what you do is chuck this up in a drill bit. I've got a drill or not a drill bit, drill. So, you get your 2 leads. Put them in a little bit of the drill chuck, and then you kind of carefully, slowly tighten it up, keeping them in the dead center, so that then you can, so I'm going to tighten that up. And then, what you do at this end is, I tend to get a pair of pliers, basically, come to the other end, and grip them together, like so. And then you pull it tight, and you'll be able to see now. We get a nice long braided cable. And you let it go, it's going to unspin a little bit, but here we go. So, next up, oops, I just kicked the camera thing, sorry about that, is going to effectively be stripping these 2 leads back and bring those into where they belong on this board here. So actually, to do a lot of that now, I think I might pick the chassis up though and turn it around for you guys so you can see where I'm finishing up this section up here. It's going to be kind of hard to see otherwise, so give me just a second. This thing's a beast with these transformers, so. Alright, so now you can see here, I've got that. I've just removed the leads here. And what I need to do effectively is solder those into here. So I'm going to show you quickly on the, I'll get it set up first. On this area here, let me show you on the layout. Right here in this top area, you'll see these 2 1K resistors. They go to pins 1 and 5. I'm almost positive it doesn't matter which one they do. They're just basically, you've got 2 1K dropper resistors. So I'm going to let me switch back out so you can see me doing this. By the way, it looks like I've got a few more viewers. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Please do say hello in the chat, and I will chat back. Right now, I am hooking up basically the power and stuff that goes to the relays. So right here, if you can see, I'm going to be soldering these into that, and then I will run these over to where the foot switch jack will be going in back. So I'm going to turn that now upside down in a way that you guys can hopefully see, and so that the, oh come on, it's because of all these wires, they're wanting to fight me. That's not going to stay very well. Trying to get to balance fairly well. Alright, so, and then what I can do is, that's what I just put those 2 leads into, is right here. Once I solder these in, I believe, I'll have to double check. Oh, I do need to, okay, so. Filled that in pretty well. Now I get this one. Actually, I gotta clean the tip. The tip's getting nice and grungy black. When you get your tip, it's getting a lot of black or brown gunk on it. That's the burnt up flux that you need to clean out. I hope, okay, I was going to say, I hope that resistor didn't come out. It didn't look like it was still connected, but it looks like it is, so we're good. Alright, so I just need to double check one other thing with this before we put it into permanent place. Is there's one other area that I didn't solder right here, and that might be where yeah, it is. The positive lead from that will go and connect into the, where you can count, maybe see a little bit down here now that where I've got that voltage regulator. So I will also have carefully untangled the web I've weaved here. That's kind of a mess. I'll put that aside for now. This is going to run down and across here in a minute, but we'll just put that aside for now. I need to run my high voltage from here over to that point there. And the other side, I'm trying to figure that out. Oh. Actually, I technically am supposed to have a jumper that goes between these two as well. And I've got that soldered in, so I will have to kind of carefully fix that as well. So what I'll do is I will, again, bring this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I need to basically jump between those two, so I'll just put a small jumper wire underneath in red wire that I'll have to kind of flow through that point carefully, just kind of putting it through first. So okay, and then I'll look at that in a minute to make sure I didn't do something right here really quickly. Make sure that's still connected okay. It looks like it is. So this will go off to the actual regulator, and I'm just going to connect this jumper to this side over here, which is the diode that's doing the other half of the rectification. So just strip that from right here. Dang it, I don't like that. I'll have to try and carefully put that back on. You do not, this is going to be some level of high voltage, not high voltage. This is going to have live voltage on it, which will be about, I think it's 6.3 volts or 7 volts DC or something like that going into the voltage regulator. It's voltage doubled, so it should be about 12 to 14 volts. And I accidentally pulled this insulation off. And I do not want that off because this will potentially, the less area you leave open for grounding on accident, the better. So, alright. I'll go ahead. I'm just going to solder that from the bottom as well, like I've done with some of the other, because it becomes a little easier to solder from the bottom on it. How's everybody doing? I've got a few more viewers now. Welcome, welcome. Please say hey in the chat. Tell me what's brought you here. Tell me what you think of this whole Dumble build process. Hopefully you've seen some of the other videos. If you're a first-time viewer, please tell me what kinds of stuff you'd be interested in maybe me doing in the future. So, I'll go ahead and turn that back over. Carefully here, we'll snip off that excess lead. I don't like the look of that solder on the top now, so we will carefully flow a little bit more in from the top of all three of those that we just did. Alright. Good to go. Alright. So now what I can do is kind of twofold. This one, if I were to quickly show you again, there is also so I've got the red, that positive lead is the positive voltage that goes into the voltage regulator. There is a purple wire that comes off the bottom, which actually connects into the other side of the voltage regulator, and that allows then the output to come out clean. I'm just trying to remember. I'd have to look back at the circuit itself, the schematic. Let's look at that really quickly. I'll pull that up here, and I will make that big. And we will scroll down and look. Alright, so I'll turn that on for you guys. So if you look right here in the schematic, what I'm connecting up is this part right here. So there's two 1K resistors you saw me soldering a couple wires into that will go over to the pins 5 and 1, and that's the twisted wire I did. Those go through those two 1K resistors. What connects in there as well is the output of this 3 goes off to the relays, as well as so they connect into pin 3 of the voltage regulator, which is the output, but it is also a cap here, and then there's the voltage doubling part here. So we'll go back and look at that again now, but that's basically what I'm connecting up right now. So, and then on the layout, you saw that just a second ago as well. So, all right. Next, I'm going to reattach this guy back in. I've got 2 bolts. And this one is a bit tedious to try and get in, I remember. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but... It's a pain in the butt, I said. Anyway. This is where I started, I think, getting my tweezers and carefully trying to align things. Oh no, actually for this guy, I think this worked a little bit with the pliers. Alright, so... Alright, got that threaded a teeny bit. Get my... I know I had another... Where'd it go? I'm going to have to grab it out of the box there. Alright. So, again. I need something, maybe the tweezers. This is like being a surgeon almost. I'm losing this battle. Sorry guys. I'm just trying to get this. I know I have another pair of pliers here somewhere, and I wanted to, oh, there. I want to get that screw back out. I pushed it in a little too far. I don't want it all the way out of the hole, but I need to get it out a little bit. There we go. Oh, there we go. Got it. All right. Sorry, I have to focus on this. Sticking my tongue out at the right angle makes this all work. So, if you can see my face, and maybe you can in the corner, I'm doing all kinds of funny face manipulations. I notice myself watching the video. It's kind of annoying to watch yourself on video because I don't realize that I'm going like I'll get my... making all funny faces trying to get it. You know, Dave Jones of EEV Blog makes that joke a lot of the time. You got to get your tongue at the right angle, but I've watched him as well. He always has his tongue sticking out at a funny angle when he's trying to do this stuff. But all right, so now this is in the chassis, connected in, good and tight. I've got all the wires I need. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this lead, and I will carefully run it Actually, I'm going to try and run it under the 6.3 volts that are coming into it. There we go. Similarly, I'm going to kind of feed this under the bottom of here. Oh, of course, it's not going to want to go the way I want it to, and will fight me the whole way. Tooth and nail. Alrighty then. Alright, so that is in place now. So this will be my ground. I'll have to look where that connects in. This one, like I said, connects to the actually, let me quickly switch to the, so I need to connect this purple one, connects over to there. So I can get my tongue threading on this one as well. Alright, it goes to back here. Get my strippers. You guys like it when I bring out the strippers, don't you? Alright. Ha ha. Alright, one lead connected. And I'm going to pinch that tight. Where's my pliers? Alright. The next thing, I'm going to have two leads going off of that, but that's okay. Then I want to take this. I've got to actually get this and this out of the way of it. This guy, actually, I will be happier also if I send this guy underneath here. And that's, it's a rat's nest of wires, guys. But we're getting there. Alright. After we get this stuff connected up, then we will basically be able to call the power wiring for this done. Now, I can actually solder that in if I wanted to at this point, because it is the only lead that connects to this leg, so I might very well have to do that. Alright. Good enough. I don't want to solder that one in the middle yet because I have to connect a couple other leads out, but I do want to connect a grounding wire. I'm going to have to connect, I'll possibly, there is a ground right here. I might use that one because that's going to be my ground point number 5 for what I'll be hooking in multiple grounds to. What is that one? Is it really wanting me to ground? Oh, wow. It looks like it wants me to ground this first preamp section over here all the way over to that one as well. So I might have to run a really long black wire for that one, but we'll look at that in a minute. But I actually need a fairly short one for this guy. Because I'm just jumpering from here to there. Oh, that's getting crusty. Alright. We'll figure it out. I'm going to worry about those grounds a little later, but for now, we know where they're all there waiting to be connected. Okay. So, what else was I going to try and do today? Let's see. Actually, that may very well be all I had set up to do. So, I do need to kind of have a dedicated effort on setting up my grounds pretty soon as well. I have to drill a few holes in the chassis and put things in. Actually, I'm trying to think. What else? I need to have one grounding wire, one long looks like that it's going to come from this grounding lug all the way around, just like I did with that separate one, connecting to this guy, which seems very long and a bit crazy, but we'll do it. All right, so Dumble, that is one of the things that people say you really need to get right with these Dumbles, is the grounding is done a specific way for a reason. So this preamp node in this drawing grounds all the way over there. We're going to go, I'll show you what I mean here. Let's switch back to turning this on. So here's the grounding scheme. If you look, there is a black wire that comes off of this and comes down to this corner right here. And if we follow that all the way over, it comes up and it connects. Oh wait, I'm hallucinating. That is just the chassis outlet. So let me look at this is the ground I was trying to follow. Let's see where that goes. That one is a line here that's kind of hard to see, but it seems like it's coming along right here. Oh, that grounds into the foot switches. So it's a little silly now. I wish I'd have thought of that. I could have actually wound all three wires into this one, but that's what it is. It's the foot switch ground, so it'll go with those as well. So we're going to, what I might do here, we're just going to connect all the grounds into this point and then set it, and then I'll solder it, but I've got to get, kind of trying to run. I'm not going to run that ground all the way back around here because the ground is a ground, but I'm going to run it across and I will pull it down through here and then up against the edge. Well, maybe I should just, I don't know, I'm trying to think that through. Well, let's just do this. So I literally am going to ground all of those right now in this location. It will be, if you look, there are 1, 2, 3 grounds. One of them is this board. One of them is this point from this guy we just did, and one of them is the one I'm setting up now, this longer one. So we'll just ground all 3 of them to that. There is an existing one that was already on this Fender chassis, so. I'm trying to also leave this wire somewhere that makes sense in this tangle web of wires. I almost got that guy in there. I've learned in the past that I just have to be very fastidious with before I solder my grounds, at making sure that I have all the right ones in the right place, because in the past I have accidentally grounded stuff I didn't want to ground. Alright, so the other ground is going to come from this guy right here. Alright. So, I'm blocking you guys again. Sorry about that. Let me go back to where you can see what I'm doing. Alright. That wire, just jump it straight over, so I can actually cut it fairly short. I actually got myself way too much wire there, but that's okay. Just cut it about there. I can't see what I'm doing here very well. Alright, well, get a pair of actual pliers to grab that now that I've got it in the right spot. Okay, now I can solder that in. So I've got all three leads that go in that grounding point together. So, I'm blocking a little here. Let's try making this a little more visible for people. Of course, I just melted a little bit of the lead there. Annoying. Alright, now I can kind of start snipping away any of those leads that are just kind of ugly in the way, that don't provide any actual direct connectivity. Alright, so now I will try to run this ground wire somewhere fairly sane. That will be my quick switch ground. So that will do that. Okay, cool. All right, so I now have all of those connected in pretty well. I think we're looking good for the foot switch and the relay wiring. I will end up putting a couple relays in. I got to drill holes for those, but I'll put them in somewhere up about here, and then I'll run two wires from those back down this point, because that's what those power. I'll quickly show you what that is on this layout. So if we come up to the layout, that is, you can see I've got the purple wire connected to that. These two leads come over and connect into the relays. And what will happen is the other side of this connection to that relay, this is the relay coil, will connect into switches. There'll be two connections to switches. One will be an manual switch that will be on the back, you can flip off and on. And there will also be a foot switch that you can actually flip manually that shows, and then they'll go to the foot switch. Either one of those closes the circuit for the relay, which ends up allowing that to perform the switching. So I think that's about all I've got set up for today, guys. I appreciate you coming along for the ride, and anybody that's watching this after the fact, I do hope that you enjoy the video well. I definitely I'm having a lot of fun doing this build. It's a very complicated, a lot of busy things going on. As you can see, I've got this power supply relay this power supply right here. So I've got a voltage doubler and filtering for the relay supplies now connected to a voltage regulator. I've got my main filtering going on right here, as well as bias supply. And then over on this side, I've got the FET input and another set of filtering, and setting up all these filters for the power supply has been an interesting challenge. So this does not look as beautiful as Dumble had it set up, but I also have really had a bit of a problem where I've got a big the output transformer right here. I could have removed it, created a board, set it in, but I figured the least impact that I put on this thing, the better. There's already an existing hole right here that was kind of one of the mounts for the longer board that used to be here that I could screw this down into, and so these are not going to be flapping the breeze because I will fill them underneath with silicone to hold them still. But that's that. So thank you everybody for joining. I do hope that these videos are as enjoyable for you to watch as they are for me to make. Please do give some comments. Tell me what's some other areas that you want me to focus on. Yeah, Thomas, thank you for joining. I'm glad you did join. As you can see, also it just popped up on the actual channel. I show those as well, so I'd really enjoy people to start chatting with each other as well, get a little bit of dialogue going. I only had about 3 or 4 at a time, but yeah, I'm going to try and regularly schedule about every Saturday or Sunday about this time. 11 Eastern is when I'll start, or 11 Pacific is when I'll start, which will be about 1 p.m. Eastern. It allows me to kind of get up in the morning, prep a little bit, get things ready, and then start streaming for about an hour. So please do join me next round. Thomas, also, if you want to watch any of the previous live streams or videos in the series, this is the 4th live stream. They go in between some of the different series of the actual videos that I do some non-live work, and then I edit and cut out a lot of the inner stuff. But I'm hoping to see people are really enjoying the live stream part of it and enjoy watching me build manually. So thank you everybody for joining. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time. Cheers. Oh, and before I end it, I should also remind everybody, please do like, subscribe, hit the alerts. If you hit the little alert icon when you do subscribe, you'll get reminders of almost any of my videos, and I think every live stream as well. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you next time.